Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. You have set your glory in the heavens. Through the praise of children and infants, you have established a stronghold against your enemies, to silence the foe and the avenger. When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have set in place. What is mankind that you are mindful of them? Human beings that you care for them. You have made them a little lower than the angels, and crowned them with glory and honor. You have made them rulers over the works of your hands. You put everything under their feet, all flocks and herds, and the animals of the wild, the birds in the sky, and the fish in the sea, all that swim the paths of the seas. Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is Pastor Errol Williams here for another daily online, well, we would often say Bible studies, but fun time with Pastor Errol on a Wednesday when we do not have any youth focus. So tonight, I'm looking forward to tonight. So it's fun time with Pastor Errol, and I'll share some thoughts with you on that a little later. But I want to say welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited once again to have the opportunity to share something unique, special with you tonight. So I'm looking forward to this session tonight. As I said, it's a fun time actually with Pastor Al. Don't forget that we are streaming in a variety of different places, and you can actually take your pick place which is best for you. I always say that Zoom is the best place because you have all the functionality as well as the ability to communicate via voice. So you can actually put your mic on if given permission, and when you speak, everyone will hear you at the same time. So thank you so much for joining us, and good to see you all with us tonight. I got a really good treat for you tonight. I think some of you may not be into it, but some of you may be. I want to share with you a tool that I think is the best tool that ever came on the internet. And some of us may debate that and say, well, no, Pastor Errol, I think this is, and so on and so forth. So we will see a little later when we get into that. So let us know who you are, where you are streaming in from. It would be great to say good evening to you and call your name if possible. If not, it's perfectly fine for you not to say anything whatsoever. And you can text me as well. Don't forget my text number is 07956872141. Now, I've had that number now for, I think it's nearly 40 years. Ever since the mobile phone came out, the first set of numbers that were given was 07956. And I've maintained that number ever since for some strange reason or another. So people have been able to contact me years later because my number has not changed. So the number is still the same. So use it if you need to, and communicate with me whichever way you feel best to do so tonight. So, right, let's then look at what we're doing tonight in terms of this flyer. As I said before, on a Wednesday, the second, third, and fourth Wednesdays, and we'll be focused around fun time, providing we don't have anyone that's from the youth department. So I want to say thanks, a big shout out to Brother Reese, who was amazing as he looked at Spirit-Filled Life. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful brother as well. Great family. And so thankful that he was able to give up his time to just come and share the word of God with us. And I wish him all the best going forward. And certainly we would gladly have him back and hear what God has to say through him to us. So tonight could be a lot of different things. It could be a personal development tip, some form of game. So you could probably watch me play a game of some sort, maybe chess or backgammon or pool. I often play pool as well. So I've got this this game. I love it actually. I don't play it as much today as I used to. Let's see if I could find it. But I don't play it as much as I used to play it as I did before. But it's an amazing game, and yeah, it's just amazing game. I think you can probably hear it in the background somewhere. So let me just bring it over into the screen. So I often play this game, and I've got to hit this ball into that circle, and if I do, I get some points. So wow, that's not bad actually. I get 1,000 points. I think it is 500, and then I could go in and play. And in actual fact, there are some guys I've been watching who play this game. It's just so I don't know how I could put it, but it's just one of those things. And I could come in. I don't have much points anyway, but I do get some points if I link it to Facebook and so on. So I won't play anything like that. But it's just, there are times when I just come and I play that game, or if I'm not happy with that one, I then go and play some chess. And now I play chess actually every night. So that's an amazing game. I do pay for this particular website. So I go here and I play with guys from around the world. So if you have not learned chess, I'm telling you, it is an amazing game actually. Just truly fantastic game. So I love playing chess. It's just one of those games that really help me to think more accurately and so on. And yeah, I just lost a few points there, but you know what? Doesn't matter. Wasn't concentrating on that actually, so I lost a few points there. So I was concentrating actually on castling, so I didn't actually do it properly. So let me see. Yeah, but anyway, that's the chess game. I'm going to lose that game anyway, so I'm going to leave that one. But that's how I play the game. Yeah, so let me just leave that one. It's only on a 2-minute timer, so I will just resign on that one. But yeah, it's when I decided to do chess, and I'll just share with you a few thoughts around that and go from there. So there's different games I may play. Software tutorial may teach you some software, and I want to share with you a particular software later that I'm using. May interview someone. Relationship tips, yeah, I'm often giving those. Financial tip, great deals, that there may be a great deal that's on, and I'll share that with you. So maybe tips and jokes as well. I do tell a few jokes, now and then. So I'm not a joker, but I do tell a few jokes every so now and then. So I wanted to welcome to Pastor Catherine. Blessings to you and to your amazing husband as well tonight. Thank you so much for joining with us. It's fun time with Pastor Errol and Deacon Stanley. Great to see you at the meeting tonight. We had our leaders meeting tonight. Around 20 plus leaders were present on Zoom. We normally get between 20 and 26 of our leaders just meeting. There was still a few missing, holiday season and all kind of stuff going on in the lives of our leaders. And so we normally get an average around 22, 26 turning up to our meeting just for an hour and a half, just to catch up, hear what's happening in the church, and hear what's happening nationally, regionally, locally, internationally, and get an opportunity to quiz the pastor and make sure he's on his toes doing as he's supposed to do. So they really do keep me on my toes. An amazing set of people, lovely people, truly amazing. So thank you so much, Deacon Stanley and your wife, for joining us tonight. It was a pleasure to have you with us tonight. Now, one of the things that I often start off with is to show you my setup, to show you how I'm set up, right? So what are the things that I'm using? So at least you get an idea to see what I'm using and the facilities and so on that I'm using. And here they are. You can see them right here on my screen. And I was trying to think if I could find them somewhere else. So let me just check and see if I can put them in a different way that you can see it better as I describe it. So what you see here is my setup, and let me just do something here. You can see it better in this one. Yeah, absolutely. So this is the camera that I use. So I have a what you call a C920 high definition webcam. So it's sticking right on top of my computer right now. So it's not an inbuilt one. When you do professional live streaming, we would always recommend that you have a webcam that's not inbuilt in the computer. It's much better, clearer, much more clarity. It's not the newest one on the market, but you know what? It does an amazing job. So I don't really need to change it whatsoever. So I'll keep that. This is what we call Voice Meter Potato. It's a software that I use that controls all the audio that's played from my computer. So it's a virtual mixing desk, virtual mixer. So I don't have any. I used to have all the physical ones. So it was a literal desk. It's not under my bed, actually. It used to be on my table, taking up all this space, wires everywhere and so on. So this is wireless. It's all software related. And it takes a lot of input and output. And it really is amazing, to tell you the truth. It's just fantastic. This is vMix. This is the software that I use, and everything is connected into it. And this only works on PC. It doesn't work on Mac computers. It's the best live streaming software that I have ever had the privilege of using. There are many others out there, but this is my favorite one, vMix. My nickname for it is Solid as a Rock. Right, this is the microphone I use, the Blue Yeti Pro. Is right here, just on my voice. So I have a second one, which is the one next to it, which is the Office Runner. And this is this one. So I only use it as a headset. I do not use it as a microphone. It sounds a little bit different, actually. But the microphone that I use is the Blue Yeti Pro. But I do use the Office Runner as my headset and a backup microphone. So I have 3 backup microphones. So if I just do a red circle where the microphones are, so I have a microphone on the C920. I have a microphone on the Blue Yeti, and there's a microphone also. So there's 3 backups if you want. So the Blue Yeti is number 1. The number 2 I'd probably use would be the Office Runner, or I'm not sure actually. They sound a little different, but I'd use that. This is the computer that I'm using here, Core CPU. It's quite a hefty one, and I have to. it's quite costly as well, over on £2,000 just for that. But it's capable of handling all of what I'm doing, not just on Bible studies, but Illuminate, the Women's Connect, and so on. I have this Stream Deck. So what the Stream Deck does is that I can press a button and it just creates a function. We call it shortcuts and things like that. So that's really an amazing tool. And I've got these light system here. This is the lights, the PX A Pro. And it's right up here. And they really help to take away the shadow from the glass and shadow from my chin and all kind of stuff, the way they're positioned. So that really is helpful, actually, quite useful, diffusing the light. So there's this white thing over it that makes it really amazing, actually. And then I have the phone that I use for text, and then I have the iPad that I'm now using to write on. So when you see me writing, it's if I were to create, let's say, a new page, then I'll be writing on it, and so it operates as my whiteboard. Jesus is Lord indeed. That was the message on Sunday. Jesus is Lord, a man approved of God. Truly was a remarkable message indeed. So I use it as a whiteboard. It really is phenomenal. And this is a professional setup. It's a really top setup. You could have other more advanced equipment like, the camera, but this one works beautifully, and so I don't need to change it as yet. And so, yeah, this is a setup that I use for the online Bible studies, and it really works well. It really is useful. So what is it I'm going to do tonight? Well, tonight I did promise that I would share with you a software that I use that enables me to be able to do some amazing things. Really, it's just amazing. Some amazing things. So I wanted to share that with you, and we go from there. Really, we go from there. I wanted to share with you what this software can do. So I'm going to obviously be sharing my screen, so you'll be able to see my screen and how it works and so on. So yeah, that's one of the things I want to share with you. Now, just to make this really interesting statement, I've been saying to people, the internet came about around 1983 when it became public, the World Wide Web, around 1983. So we're talking around 40 years ago. So I've been using the internet now for 40 years. And oftentimes I'm on it quite often, and I have surfed the internet for many years, 40 years. And I've seen some phenomenal websites. I've seen some amazing tools, like, for example, Prime TV, where you can watch films, or Netflix, where you can also watch films. You've got iPlayer, and you've got all kind of stuff going on the internet, CNN, and it's just YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And these have really been game changers over the years. And I've seen the development of many of these different softwares that have really changed our lives. It really has, and just made a major, major difference. And my life has improved because of that. When you think of, YouTube, for example, and the billions of videos that are on YouTube, and the amount that goes up every day is just remarkable. Everyone almost on the internet is uploading a video of some kind for our use if we want to watch them. Even churches now are streaming their services on Sundays and Bible studies all on YouTube, Facebook, and different websites and so on. It's just really been phenomenal. Now, I've been designing websites for probably around 30 years or so, and I've seen quite a lot. And I use the WordPress system because it's just the number one facility on the internet. So I've been there 40 years, and I've seen a lot. I wouldn't say I've seen everything, but I've seen a lot. But the software I'm about to share with you, I regard as the best that I've ever come across on the internet. I haven't seen anything like it before. It's just been remarkable. It was introduced to me by a sister in our church called Sister Denise, who introduced it to me. And since she introduced it to me, it's just been a game changer. That's just the reality, really. Now, many of you would have heard about the advance of, um, the technology, AI technology, Chat GPT, and things like that. And so, um, when I came into contact with it, I could see how it could benefit me in a remarkable way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and then I'm going to just so that you can see exactly what I'm referring to, and this particular um, thing that I regard as the number one thing on the entire internet. Now, I'm wondering if I've got everything set up the way that I wanted to, because I'm noticing a challenge here. So let me just make absolutely certain that I've got the right thing. I don't think I have that. So let me see if I've got the right thing. I like that one. Let's try that again. Yeah, that was quite good. Right. So I'm going to try this and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then if it doesn't work, then we'll have to look at something else, because there's always some challenge that we are faced with. So, okay, so it's giving me that. So let me just change it from that one. That is the, believe it or not, what you're looking at behind me there is my screensaver or my desktop. And I've had that bald eagle on my desktop now for over 30 years. And so every time I turn my computer on, it's a reminder of how I see myself. Okay, let me just trying to share my screen with you at the moment, but somehow it's not allowing me to do so. And find it's interesting, to say the least. Okay, let's see. Don't forget, if you have any questions for me as well, please put those in the chat room for me, and I would be only so happy to hear from you. So please do go ahead and put any thoughts you have, any questions you have in the chat room. Let us know who you are, where you are from. Claudia B. So let me just check why. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Welcome, Claudia B. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Right. So it's not going to give me what I want, it seems. It's not moving the way I want it to. So let me try again. If not, then I'm going to have to change something. I did test it before I came on today, and it did work. So let me try again. Okay, let me see now. Hope everyone is okay and doing great. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate that. It's always a pleasure to to have you guys with us. As soon as I'm able to do that, if not, then I'm going to have to do something else that I've got planned. And I could probably do that while I try to get this up and running and so on. I did do a test before and it did work. As soon as I turn my computer off, it doesn't work. So let's see. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I have to say the least. Right, let me see. That's interesting. Let me just see if it okay. Let me change the dynamics here. I noticed something strange is happening. So let me interesting. Let me interesting. Okay. What has it done? Not even sure what it's doing. Oh dear. That is absolutely amazing. Okay, let me do something else. And if it does work, then later, then I'll come back to that. But yeah, the software, I wanted to show it to you really rather than talk about it, because I think by seeing it, it sets the scene a lot different, much different indeed. So it looks as if, yeah, it's giving me some beautiful challenges here. So that's interesting what it's doing now. Almost everything I click on now, it just turns into something else. So not sure why it's doing what it's doing. If I click on that, it goes blank. Okay. Yes, I wish somebody would ask me a question. That would give me a great help. And if someone have a question for me, that would be great. While I talk to you and sort this out. But there was a personal development tip I wanted to share with you nonetheless. And let me go to my whiteboard here. And there's a personal development tip I wanted to share with you. And I hope that this tip will be useful. Now, on Saturday, we have a leadership development day. And with all the leaders within our region and so on, we're probably going to have around 40, 50 of us there, 50, 60 of us at this particular event. And one of the things that I'm looking at, welcome, Brother Thomas. Thanks for joining us tonight. So thank you for being with us. One of the things that I am asking myself is, what is it that makes us successful or stops us from being successful? At anything. It doesn't matter what it is that we are aiming at in life, whether it be in the church or in our personal life. What is that thing that, if we were to identify one thing that is stopping us from achieving great results in or out of the church or in our own homes, what is it? What is the thing that if we did this, one thing, so to speak, it would really boost our productivity and so on? And as I look in the church, for example, I want to see more growth spiritually and numerically. I want to see more people being in our churches and more people developing someone, and I want to see people achieving their goals in life. You know, there's a statement that says, where there is no vision, the people perish, right? So what tends to happen here is that many people have no vision, right? No goal in life. And so as a result of that, they perish. But then again, there are people who have goals in life, but it's not been achieved. So I want to ask this question, if you could help me. What is that thing that stops us from being successful, whether in the church or out of the church? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If there's only 3 of you that will respond, that's perfectly fine. That's more than enough. I'd just like to hear your thought before I share further with you on this. I'd love to hear what you say. You know, what is your thought on this? So just type in the chat room what your thoughts are on this. What is that thing that really is hindering us, or stopping us from progressing? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So go ahead and just type in your thoughts in the chat room for me. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think the issue is, really. I'd love to hear from you. So please go ahead and just type in the chat for me in the chat room. I'll see it when it comes up. I'm not seeing those in Facebook, funny enough. For some strange reason, and somehow it's not showing up in Facebook. So yeah, I can't see anything in Facebook. But yeah, just let me have your thought. Limiting belief. That's a very good one. Limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs. Limiting belief. So what you're saying really then is that somebody is limiting their belief, or maybe they don't believe enough. That's a very good point, actually. If you don't believe in something, you're just not going to do it. But funny enough, there's a lot of people who believe but still not achieving. They believe, they've got the belief, they've got the faith. So let me share with you something first before I share that point. But I'd love to hear from the rest of you, actually. If you let me draw a square here. Now, I was trying to figure out how do you copy it and paste it so that I have 4 of these. I think that should be a great idea here. Right. So let's say, for example, you got these 4 boxes. And one of the things I've discovered in successful organizations is that they follow the same similar pattern. Are you with me? They follow the same similar pattern. And this pattern is one that has been going on over centuries. And Jesus used it as well. And what I have discovered is that if we follow this particular pattern, this very, very simple pattern, then we're in a far better position to achieve much more. Now, this was shared with me by Bishop Mike Wilson. So if he's watching, he's the one that brought it to Stonebridge and where we were, and he shared that with us. And the first one is to have what we call an aim, or your vision. It's the same thing, really. It's just I'm using a more simplistic word. Your vision, your aim. What is it that you want to achieve? And one of the things that somebody shared with me some time ago is try not to plan to achieve too many things, because what tends to happen is that you might accomplish a few, but you become very depressed about the fact that you didn't accomplish the rest. Thank you, Sister June. Who introduced you to Facebook Live? Well, it's interesting. I think I knew it before you told me, June. But I remember we were in the office and June said, "Go live," and I went live, and it was amazing actually the amount of people that showed up that particular day. But yeah, that is amazing. Thank you so much, June. Sister, let me just take some of these thoughts because I want to hear from you guys. So, and Beverly says, unable to share. That's a good point. Unable to share. That's a good point. Beverly says, unable to share thoughts and ideas. My answer is to your question. Yeah, thank you very much, Sister Beverly Simpson. Blessings to you, and thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Now, those are very, very good points that you guys have raised. Excellent points, actually, and I do appreciate that very, very much. And just to continue with this diagram here. So what major companies do is that they all know where they're going. They all know what they're trying to achieve. The proverb said, where there is no vision, Proverbs 29. Okay, let's do that again. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. And that is so true. So it's very important that you know where you're going. And often we would also say, how big is your why? In other words, why are you doing this? What is it that you want? What is your why? In other words, what is your aim? What is your vision? And how big is it? Is it big enough? Is it a why that is important to you? And so on. So it's very important that you know what your why is, you know what your aim is, and that you know where you're going. And I think that's really, really helpful. That really helped me when I first started out. The second thing is, once you know your why and you know your aim, your vision, etc., same thing, what is the plan that you have to do that? There is a saying, I think it's a very, very popular saying that says, if you fail to plan, then you have planned to fail. And what that really is saying is how important planning is. Let me give an example. If for example, you were to build a house, okay, you wanted to build a house, and so you call some builders in, the first thing you're going to want to know is, what is the plan? In other words, where is the architectural drawing of this particular project that we're going to embark on? Where's the plan? Where's your strategy? How are you going to, where is it? And let's say the builder turned up, right, to start the work or whatever, and you ask, can I see the drawings? And the builder says, well, I don't have the drawings, I just go from my head. You probably would get another builder. So when you go into these companies, they know where they're going. They know what their aim is, or their vision, or their goal. And they've got a strategy. They've got a strategic document. Every company has one. If they haven't, then something is totally wrong. So it's a strategic document that says, this is how we're going to do what we need to do to get to where we need to get. So we want to get to our why, our aim. So it's like, for example, your aim is to go to India on holiday with your family. Well, you're not just going to turn up at the airport on the day, are you? You're going to make some plans. You're going to make a list of all the things that needs to be done, and you're going to plan it out. And a good plan, in my view, should have who, remember this, who is going to do what by when. That's it. That's all I want to know. Who is going to do what by when? So the what is, the when is the time scale. So it's important then that if you're going on holiday, you're not just going to turn up at the airport. You're going to make plans. You're going to make a list of all the things that needs to be done, and you will assign who is going to do what and by what time. You got your packing to do. You've got, maybe some shopping that you have to do. You may have to sort out the passport, and maybe you have to get your driving license because you're going to hire a car when you get there. You're going to need some money. So there's a lot of things that you have to do. Recently, a friend of mine got, her big why was get married. So she was engaged and the date was set. And she spent, listen to this carefully what I'm about to say. She spent almost a year in planning this wedding. Take, for example, a funeral. The why of the funeral is we got to bury our dad or our mom. We have to bury our loved one. So what's the plan? And who's going to do what by when? What's the plan? The plan is we need to book the funeral director. We need to book the church and the hall. And who's going to do catering? Who's going to get the flowers? Who's going to sort out the parking? And the list just goes on forever, doesn't it, sometimes? And very, very costly as well when you come to think of it. So every company follow this pattern. It's just one of those things. Now, let me show you the thing that's the hardest thing to do generally, is the action. Yeah, there's a saying that we say, do, or do it, or do it now, or do it right now. So this is where oftentimes the key challenges come in, is that people are not acting upon what they're supposed to do. Okay, they're not really actioning the things they're supposed to do. I like that, June. Company vision is always on the website. That's a very interesting point, because if you want to see your company document, or you want to see their vision statement, ask them for the memorandum and article of association, or their trust document, or their charity document. So with the Church of God of Prophecy, we have a charity document, a constitution, or whatever they call it, and in it is where it's laid out. We also are a registered company as well, and you'll find it in that document as well. So it's laid out in the document, and as you rightfully say, it's laid out on the website. So you need to take action. You see, this is where we separate the men from the boy, and I want to come back to that in a moment. So the aim leads to the plan. The plan, once set, needs to take action. And finally, a very, very important element is review. You're reviewing What are you reviewing? You're reviewing, listen to this carefully, you're reviewing the aim to see if it was really appropriate. You're reviewing the plan to see how appropriate the plan is, and the action, and then you're reviewing any lessons learned. Now, what I have discovered, and I always say to people, this is the first thing that we need to establish the aim. That's where we start. That's the starting point. And then we need to look at the plan. Number 3, number 4. Now, very important, brothers and sisters, that we see this really well here. Let's mark those. Now, when Bishop Mike Wilson showed it to us, I mean, it was just a game changer. It just changed the whole playing ground. It means that we can now see what companies were doing and how they became so huge and gigantic. This is all they were doing throughout the day. And getting everyone to act upon certain parts of the plan and constantly evaluating, reviewing it, doing appraisals and evaluations. Check your company. If you're in a company right now, that's what they're constantly doing. So I'm recommending that in your own personal setting, here is a tool that you can use. Now, coming back to my question, because many people have these great plans. I mean, they've written down their aim, they've got the plan. Maybe they're lazy about getting the action done. They're reviewing and getting frustrated. But what is that one thing that really is a game changer? Because you can have great vision and great plans, and many people do, but something sometimes doesn't make it work. And the one word I want to write down here that I was looking for is the word habit. I think that's how you spell habit. In other words, what do you do on a daily basis? You see, habit will definitely win every time above setting goals and plans. What you do on a daily basis will tell me exactly where you're going to end up. And what tends to happen is that many people have not converted what they want to do into a daily habit. Because when you do something constantly and over, you tend to have a different viewpoint to that thing. So one of the things I want to point out here is for you to ask yourself, what is it that I do daily? What are my habits? Because maybe it's my habits, the things I do regularly, that's leading me to where I am today. And maybe what's frustrating where I want to be, for example, in terms of my aim, my plan. But I haven't made it habitual. It's not like it's an habit. If you notice with companies, it becomes an habit to them. For example, every Monday morning they have review meetings or they got planning meetings. Are you me? Or they every so often. And it becomes a habit, a ritual, a constant dedication. So maybe if you're not getting the result you're looking at, you might need to look at your habits, the things that you do over and over and over and over and over again. Let me tell you the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. Wow. I think that's deep. That really is deep. So I thought I'd share that with you because I think that is just so awesome, really, to tell you that's the truth. Right, what I'm going to do now is I just realized I could use my iPad to show you what I want to show you, even though I would have had a better experience in sharing it with you on the would have a better experience on the computer. But for the life of me, I wonder if that's it. Let's see. let's see if that works. Let me see. Okay, I don't think it did work. I don't think it did work. It's not really what I'm looking for. It's certainly not what I'm looking for. So I don't even know why that came up like that. So that did not work for me. That was a good try though. So let me go back to okay, let me right, I'm going to see if it would work on my yes, I think it would work on my iPad. Let's see if it works on my iPad. Let's see. Nope, nothing is working for me tonight. So I'm gonna have to try another time. It's certainly not working for me, which is really interesting. I think sometimes when these things happen like this, when the computer goes down like this, sometimes you have to okay, here it is. Sometimes you have to restart everything. What I want to show you basically, let's just get rid of some of these things. It's not showing it in full screen, but that's fine. I think I can get away like this with it. With the time that I have, and I think this is really a phenomenal system. And I use it for studying the scriptures. I use it for different things. So I'm going to show you the website that I use to get to it, but it's called Chat, CHAT. And you may want to make a note of this because I'm using my iPad and not rather than a computer. So those of you that has never heard of Chat GPT or you've never heard of AI communication and so on, then here's an opportunity for you to see it and then make a decision after. You don't like it, you don't like it, you don't want to, you don't want to. So it's chat, CHAT dot, then it's open, OPENAI.com. So you can see in the actual URL window. So it's chat, and there should be a dot there somewhere. Chat dot openai.com. So that's the web address for it. And when you go there, basically, you will be asked to either log in or sign up. And if you don't have an account, then you would need to sign up to it. Right, let me try. Let me get to that site from a different location. Let me try this one here. So again, I'm going to use the same CHAT, chatopenai.com. It will take you to that website. So I think I may be able to log in. So let me log in. And I think it's going to mess me up because I don't have that system on the iPad as much as I want. So let me just do something here. It's just not working for me tonight. Just not working for me tonight. So I may have to switch to something else if I can. It probably ain't going to work for me tonight because I don't have my sign-in credential for it in this computer and this app. Williams. org.uk. So I'm going to have to try and see if I know the password, which is not going to come up here. Yeah. Okay, let me see if it did work. Try Face ID. Try again. Enter passcode. Continue. Right, it let me in. Good. Right. What I'm going to do basically is just to give you a brief overview so you can see it's not the ideal position I would like to be on. Now, the way this ChatGPT works, basically, you have a free version, which is the 3.5, and you have a paid version, which is the number 4. And it gives you a bit more functionality, but I'm going to use number 3. I'm going to change the actual theme to a dark theme so that I always prefer the darker theme. Now, on the left-hand side, you've got where you can create a new chat. You can close that particular window there. I'm going to it's just giving me some information. So once you go to chat.openai.com, you create an account. Okay. The free account is what I'm going to show you is the 3.5, but for those who pay the $20 a month, you get ChatGPT in number 4. The difference between that is that you get more, as I said before, more opportunities to do more things. But ChatGPT 3 is very well, it's fine, and I'll use that. The good thing is that they do give you certain limitations. So when you sign in, it will tell you that there are certain limitations. And that has, so for example, ChatGPT only goes up to around November 2021. So after that, it doesn't have current news, even though you can pick that up with ChatGPT 4 using different plugins and different other ways to do it, so you can keep it up to date. Sometimes the information is not necessarily correct, so you have to make sure you check some of it out and so on. But let's say, for example, I wanted to do a poem. I want to write a poem. Let's say a poem about, I don't know, about, let's say, dogs, pigs, and cats. So I will type a function and I would say, you could actually do it by typing or you can speak it in. So I might try this speech. Let me see, compose. Let me see if it would let me do this speech if I can. I've never used this one, so I don't use this one. So I'm just going to do it. Write a poem about dogs, cats, and mouse. So that's what I've typed. Okay, so I've just said write a poem about dogs, cats, and mouse. Let's see what it does. That's this instruction I give it, and straight away you can see and the speed in which it has responded. In a world of fur and paws, a tale unfolds of creatures unique each story holds. Dogs' loyal hearts with wagging glee, cats graceful dancers, wild and free. So you can see straight away, based upon the instruction I give it, gives me a poem. I could adjust the poem. I could say add my daughter. And so I just submit it. So it gives me, it rewrites it, and it includes my daughter. You can see there's a line up just here somewhere where it includes a daughter's love like morning sun. And you can just give it whatever instructions you want. And that poem, you can probably use it, read it out at the wedding, whatever. Okay. That's a poem. I mean, and we could do a lot more about poems and depending what instruction. It could be, pity the audio doesn't work, and it would have made it easier for me. Let me just go back. I think. Hello, welcome. Okay. Let's see if that will work. I'm not so sure if it will, but let's see. Never use it on this. Okay, I'm not going to use that because I think it's relating to Grammarly. So let me leave that. So let's say now I wanted to let's say I want to write a letter to my wife. Write a letter to my darling wife of 45 years. Okay. Telling her that she is a great cook, friend, mother, and lover. Right, let's see what that says. My dearest wife, I didn't put her name, you see, but whatever. And it writes me a wonderful letter. Let's see what it says. As I sit down to write these words, my heart overflows with gratitude and love for the incredible journey we have shared over the past 45 years. Every moment with you has been a treasure, and I find myself marveling at the depth of our bond and the beauty of life we have built together. Sounds good to me. What do you think? As I said before, this is the best thing that I've seen since I've been on the internet. And you could adjust it, you could tweak it to however you want it to be. Okay, let's try something else. Let's say, for example, what do I want to do now? I want to write a book. Okay, I want to write a book. Let's say I want to write a book about dogs. So I said, help me to write my book on dogs. How do I start? So, how do I start? Let's see. Oh, it's giving me some guidelines. Absolutely. Writing a book about dogs can be a wonderful project. To help you get started, here's a step-by-step guide on how to begin your book. Choose a focus, research, outline, start with a hook, introduce your theme, share your... this is fantastic. All right. Give me the outline for my book on dogs. So let's see what it does. Certainly, it says, look what it's done. It's giving me an outline. It's even giving me a title, Unleashed, a comprehensive guide to the canine world. That's an amazing title, actually. So it's telling me introduction, chapter 1, evolution of dogs, chapter 2, canine diversity, exploring breeds, the canine mind, understanding behavior, training and bonding. This is amazing. This is absolutely remarkable. Okay. Give me 10 more titles. That's 10 more. Let's see if it does that. Let's see what it does. Oh, look at that. I could say make the titles shorter. Now, wow. Now, it's interesting actually because don't forget this is the free version I'm using here, and look at the speed at which it's doing things. Okay. So I could save my canine feline dogs and I could change it to my dog book. Okay, and I could delete it, but I think I didn't change it properly. Right. My dog book. Save that one. And that's saved. So I can go and get a new chat now. Right, okay, I want to do a study on, let me see now. Let's take the book of Ruth, okay? Give me a table outline of the book of Ruth. I'll tell you what, add a summary of each chapter. Let's see what it does. Goodness gracious me. Look at the speed of that. So in chapter 1, because there's only 4 chapters, and maybe I can't understand this because it's too intellectual for me, etc. Rewrite for a 10-year-old. So what I'm doing basically is I'm having a conversation as I would a human being. So I'm treating this like a human being. Look at that. It's rewritten it for a 10-year-old. A long time ago, there was a lady named Naomi who lived in a town called Bethlehem. There wasn't enough food there, so she moved to a faraway place called Moab with her family. Sadly, Naomi's husband and sons passed away, leaving her sad and lonely. She had two daughters-in-law, Ruth and Oprah. Naomi decided to go back to Bethlehem, her hometown. She told her daughter-in-law to stay in Moab, but Ruth wanted to be with her and promised to stay by her side. That's the whole of chapter 1. Great summary. I could say, put this in table format. Now, I like table format because it's just the way my head thinks. Oh, look at that. It's put it in the table. I just love that. Now, it's interesting because, all right, let's just continue with my study in the book of Ruth. What else do I want to know? List all of the characters in the book of Ruth in table format with a brief description for each person. Let's just misspell it. Doesn't matter. Let's see. Look at that. It's given me the characters in the story, and there may have been maybe others, but you got Naomi, Ruth, Boaz, Oprah. Let me see. Any more? Let's see if there was any more. Okay, Elimelech, Naomi's kin. So it was adding. So you can see basically how easy it is to use. As I said before, there may be some inaccuracy. You may have to do your own double checking to make sure that. Can I write my thesis? Of course you can. What you want to write a thesis on? Right now, there's a danger in that though. I'm gonna tell you the danger of allowing it to write your thesis, because they can know if you use ChatGPT to write it. So you don't want to do it that way. But let's say, write my thesis. I think that's what it's supposed to use. On dogs. Let's see what it does. Let's see. Of course, I'd be happy. Please provide me with more information about the focus and structure of your thesis. What aspect of dogs are you, let's say, all aspects as much as is possible. Let's say that's what I did say. Right, so what it does basically, it starts to write it. Now, if you did this, okay, there are ways in which they can check that you've used ChatGPT to do it. And if you do it that way, you can actually fail, okay? What I often say to people is write the thesis, then put it in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT for its opinion on your thesis. So write it first, then bring it to ChatGPT and ask it to improve it or to adjust it or to bring out certain points that would be important to you. So don't use ChatGPT to write your thesis and then submit it. You will fail, okay? Because we have ways of checking it. Because I had a young lady basically, and when she sent me her thesis, I put it through my Grammarly account and it was 100% plagiarized. And I went to the website where she got it from and says, you can't do that. You just can't do that. They will fail you immediately because they have systems to be able to. Now, the good thing is I went to do some studies on Ruth and Naomi. What are the key lessons in the book of Ruth in table format? Right, so I want to hear its opinion. Key lessons that is pointed out here, so you can see loyalty and faithfulness. Ruth, kindness and compassion. That's Boaz to Ruth. Redemption and second chance. That was given through the marriage. Providence and God's guidance. God moved around. Inclusion and acceptance. Humility and obedience, and so on. And it's really, really interesting. You could say, for example, tell me more about the obedience. Okay. And it will tell you. It will tell you, and it will give you particularly interesting points about it. It's interesting. I want to share. I did this recently. I was doing a study in one of the parables of Jesus, and a statement was made by Jesus that the mustard seed is the smallest seed. So, okay, let's check this out. Was Jesus correct when he said that the mustard is the smallest seed? All right, let's see what it said. In the Bible, specifically in the New Testament, Jesus used the analogy of the mustard seed to illustrate faith and growth and so on. If you have faith, however, from a botanical standpoint, the mustard seed is not the smallest seed in the world. There are other seeds like the orchid seed, it's a plant seed, that are smaller than mustard seed. Jesus' use of mustard seed analogy was more about the idea of stating with something small and seemingly insignificant that can grow into something substantial than that statement about the actual size of the seeds. You see the point? It is important to remember that Jesus often used parables and analogies to convey spiritual truth and teaching, and these should be understood in their intended context rather than as literary scientific statements. But it's just to show you how powerful the tool is and how easier it makes for your research and study, commentary, and all of that. I could say list the above verse. I'm going to use the misspelling. I'm going to let it misspell. The list the above verse in NIV. Let's see if it takes it up. Right, so it lists the verse in NIV. I could say list the verse in the Good News Bible. And it does that because every Bible is there. You see what I'm saying? Every Bible is there, just amazing. And so basically you can pick up certain things, and the speed at which it does it is just mind-boggling. It's just incredible. Now, I'm not going to go much further in the sense to say that here's a tool that is a game changer. In my view, in my opinion, I use it literally every day. Since April, and it has revolutionized my work. It's changed the whole dynamics and playing field for me. I mean, recently I had to do a witness statement. So I said, write, I'm going to do the misspelling, write me a witness statement for court. Give me the outline. And it's amazing. I mean, I put the information in, and you'd be amazed. I was able to put together a witness statement in no time. Write me a legal tenancy agreement for a court case. I'm just, let's see. It says here, it seems like there might be a typo or something missing from the statement. So let me go up here. Let me just go up here. Let me see. Legal. Write me legal tenancy agreement. Let's see if that would work. And look at that. It's giving me the outline for it, and might be able to save myself a few pounds rather than having to go to the solicitor to write it out for me. Maybe I could do it myself now. Maybe I could. So the point I really want to make to all of us here, here's a tool that you can use for some amazing things. I mean, it's just incredible what you can do with it. So for example, I have my book, right? So I could take my book, put it in and say, well, improve that for me, or give me some thoughts around this book. But it's my work that it's using to improve. I'm not using ChatGPT work. I'm using my own work that I put into the system. So I can go back to my dog system, and I did an example. This is back in May. You could see it right down there in May. I did it on personal development. So I want to go to the very top and show you what happened. I said, you're the wisest and best counselor in the universe on personal development. This subject affects everyone because of too many divorces, single parents, and delinquent children have a massive impact on society. I must write a best-selling book that will make millions of pounds worldwide. Can you help me to write, publish, and build the most powerful website on the internet? And it said, it gave me its instruction. It said, here are some general steps. Develop your idea, create. So it then says, what do I need to do first? Then it tells me. Give me 10 titles. It gives me 10 titles of my book. Do you have some fun and very creative titles that are short? It gives me some. Some of these titles exist. Do you have any new ones? It gave me some more. The one I like is number 7 and number 8. The Way of the Explorer, Discovering New Frontiers in Personal Development. I then said I like number 8. Then it gave me an expansion. And it gives me more. Give me some ideas for a book cover with that title. And it gives me different ideas I can use and create in Photoshop or Midjourney or wherever. And then I told it to give me the full outline of this book, and it did. There is the introduction. Amazing. Let's start with chapter 1. Please go ahead, I said, and write it. And it wrote. In fact, when I read this, I was absolutely blown away with the idea of the explorer mindset that it wrote. It wrote it. I didn't write it. It wrote it, okay? Write about the definition of personal development. And I thought that the definition given here was outstanding, actually. Really is remarkable. And you can see how much more information. I was just testing it. And I've kept it so I could continue with the idea because it remembers it. And that's key. I showed you that in the 3.5. I didn't throw it to you in the 4 because in the 4 it's just remarkable because it's now got plugins that I can use, different plugins that I can use to make the experience even more. So these are all the different plugins, over 105 different plugins in here that I can use to extend ChatGPT and to make it even far get better. So if I use an example, one of the most popular one, I don't see here, but I think it's called Wolf. Yeah, Wolfram is one of the most powerful one here. Access computation math. If you want to work out really complex math, then this will do it for you. It's just truly amazing. Well, sorry I couldn't get to do it on the computer because the computer would have been better. So this is just gathering information very quickly that is already out there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Information that's already out there, gathering it, and then it can write it for you in a way that's not out there in a sense, but it just gathers it, compile it for you, and then you can actually adjust it as you so wish. I did I did some studies on the Old Testament, and that was around 30 days ago, and you can see the amount of information that I put through it. Look at that. I'm still spinning the wheel. Look at that. That was all to do with the Old Testament. And I said here, place the name of these Bible characters in chronological order. And it did, and gave me the explanation for it. Truly remarkable. And an amazing tool that will help us to do some great things. And it's amazing, actually, because millions of people are already using it. Millions. And sooner or later, more millions of people will be using it. It's a great tool that I use to help me in my daily life. This is as far as I'm going to do for tonight. I want to say thanks to everyone for coming by tonight. It's been a pleasure to be here with you. I wanted to do it on the computer because it would have been much easier, but at least we got a chance to show it on the iPad in the end. But let's give you the web address before I go. If you didn't capture it, let me see if I can actually write it before I go. So the web address is chat.open You know, some things are too important not to share, and there's millions of people out there benefiting from it. Why shouldn't those who don't know not find out? So you may not be interested in it. That's perfectly okay. You know, similar things like this have always existed. It's just that we're, I guess, catching up on certain aspects of it. And it does far more than what I've said. But if you want to find out more about it, just go to YouTube and just type in chat GPT and it will tell you more. Well, I want to say thanks for everyone for joining me tonight. I hope that was beneficial to somebody, even to just one of you, that you may find this tool helpful. You can always come back to me. I'm always willing to give any assistance or help that is needed. I wish you guys all the very best. I'm going to play out the same video that I started with tonight. It's just remarkable video from the Pemberton family. Very, very talented New Testament Church of God in Wilson. So I wish you all the best. I hope you enjoy this video.